मेरा हाय रे जबरा होए रे जबरा फैन हो गया।
Hi, this is Melanie, Movie Maven Gal. I'm talking about and reviewing Raabta, which is evidently a huge flop in India. Sorry, Sushant. It's Sushant Rajput Singh's new film with Kriti, Sanon, and it's not an official remake of Magadira, but as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, obviously, this is a take on Rajamouli's film previous to Bahubali, Magadira, and it's a reincarnation story, a love triangle from the past and in the future, and they all have similar roles in their dynamic in the past and in the future, in the present day. So the differences, there are differences in the Hindi remake. I guess they settled out of court with Rajamouli because it's not an exact remake. I will say that it is the same general concept of a reincarnation story, but there are a lot of differences. There's some things that I do like a little bit better in this Hindi version, but in the main, Magadira is a much better of an action film. This maybe gives a little bit more breathing room and time to the present day romance, which was really nice. And also, I felt that the villain, the third wheel of the love triangle, has a little bit more complexity and depth. He's not just evil, evil, evil from the first moment that you see him the way he is in the Rajamouli film. And so that was kind of nice because it kind of took you off guard initially. Sushant Rajput Singh, I really like him, and it was great to see him in a little bit more of a mature romance. I loved him in Shoot Desi Romance, and he had a little bit of a romantic storyline in Amir Khan's PK, but, you know, again, he kind of played similar lovesick kind of characters. Here he's, you know, like a playboy who is just struck dumb when he finally sees the woman, you know, the girl. And he walks into her chocolate shop, and that's it. And he doesn't understand why he has this connection, and she doesn't understand why she has this connection with him too, this just immediate connection. And that's what the film's title means. Raabta evidently is an Urdu word that means connection. I liked the romance in the first half of the film. This film has been savage in print reviews. I have read 1-star reviews. Anupama Chopra delighted in ripping this to shreds and giving it 1 star. Bharadwaj Rangan also ripped it to shreds and gave it 1 star. I don't hate on it quite as much as what I'm reading in. Yeah, it's a little clunky. The dialogue wasn't always the best, but there was a charm to the chemistry between, you know, the hero and the heroine. And you know what? The guy playing the villain was really great. Jim Sarb is his name. He was one of the terrorists in Nirja. So that's the first time that I ever saw him on screen. And I'm glad to see him get a bigger role. And I hope this is not career suicide for him and he gets something else, because he's quite handsome. Apparently he's a stage actor. He has some skills. He really got to chew the scenery in the second half of this film, let me tell you, when he really goes off the rails and goes crazy. I really liked him, and I liked the complexity that he brought to this, you know, third wheel in this love triangle. And he's not immediately evil and like a stalker, crazy person, which the Magadira villain was more like that. You know, the moment when he and Kriti's character meet, it was it was like I was taken off guard a little bit about how charming and wonderful he was initially. Sushant was great. I'll be honest with you. I have a lot going on in my personal family life. We have a family member who is gravely ill. This film was an escape for me this weekend. I will just give it 2.5 stars out of 5, just because it was the kind of film that just took me out of my head for a couple of hours. It was a little bit of a time pass, and it took me away to Budapest, this beautiful scenery of where the romance happens in the present day, and the scenery was gorgeous, and Sushant being shirtless in the first minute of the film was gorgeous. And you know what? Sometimes that's what film does for me. It just takes me away from my troubles. The first-time director for this film, Dinesh Vijan. He's been a film producer of some incredible films. He was a producer of Finding Fanny, of Badlapur, some really interesting original movies that are unlike anything else in Hindi cinema, and that's why it's so surprising that his directorial debut is something that's a derivative of a Southern film that is an unofficial remake. A more seasoned director might have been able to shape the story. I don't think he wrote the script, but a more seasoned director might have been able to make something more of this. I will say I like the first half of the romance, the present day, much more than the second half. When we see the past reincarnation life, I really hated the styling of Sushant with these braids and the way he cocks his head to show he's like, I don't know, animalistic or a predator. A little bit too much affectation, and he had this gravelly, growly voice like he was supposed to be a tiger growling at her or something. I mean, to me, I immediately thought, he's doing the Batman voice. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm like, he's doing the Batman voice. I don't know if he was doing it or if they audio corrected for it. Bad choice. I didn't like that. There wasn't as much meat to the romance part in the second half of the past life story. I can't help but compare this to Magadira, which is such a great film. Specifically, Magadira is so great in how the flashes to the past happen. It's not great here. And, you know, not inventive like Magadira was and how they were showing the flashbacks. The action cannot even compare on any level to Magadira. If you're looking for an action film, this is not it. This is not for you. If you're looking for a romance with a little bit of angst and whatever and a little bit of a time pass, this might be, you know, at least worth watching when it comes on streaming services. But if you're looking for great action, I wasn't that impressed. I mean, there was some individual sword battles, but not like the epic action scenes of Magadira. Oh, also Deepika Padukone has a cameo doing the item number for the title track, Raabta, which I didn't know was a remix of a song from Agent Vinod, which I've never seen, Saif Ali Khan's spy film. Ikvaria, that song has been on repeat since it came out for me. I am sobbing and I just listened to that song over and over and over and over again. So I really did like the songs, and it was worth it to me to watch the film on the big screen, to see those song sequences on the big screen. You know, again, I come back 2.5 stars. I'm not going to savage it. I'm not going to just say it's a 1-star total waste of time, but it wasn't what I hoped that it could be. And I hope we see another Sushant romance. He's done some interesting other films. I haven't seen his Dhoni biography film, but I did see Detective Byomkash Byakshi, and that was really interesting, and I loved him in that movie. And you know what I would love? I would love if he did a romance with Deepika. I think just the fact that she was in this movie made me think about the fact that, you know, he had okay chemistry with Kriti, but I would really like to see a pairing like that. I think that would be an interesting film. Peace out.